Okay, so the very first screenplay we're going to hear tonight is called Monte's Grandpa by Tara Miele. Tara, if you want to come to the stage, please. This screenplay is based on a true story told by our very own Monte LaMonte. For those of you who may or may not have heard Monte's story, I'll give you a refresher. With no grandparents in his life and jealous, his friends with grandparents, this sounds like Melania Trump wrote this description. And jealous of his friends with no grandparents, at 13, Monte decides to go to a retirement home to adopt a grandfather. Okay, that was Monte's story. Tara, do you want to tell us how perhaps Monte's story inspired you in your process for writing this screenplay?
Does this work? Hello. Yeah, so I thought Monte's story was very sweet, and I was very close with my grandmother, who passed away a couple of years ago. And I think there's something really nice about that jump in generations, how we can kind of connect with people who are not our parents, but the generation past them, like no matter how different we may be. And yeah, I did not like jump off of his story very much. I tried to do my best to kind of stick to the heart of Monte's story.
That's so sweet, and it was a beautiful story. Okay, so you're gonna pick the director.
The director? That's exciting. George Katsios.
Yeah. Ooh, George. All right, without further ado, this is Monte's Grandpa by Tara Miele.
Fade in. Interior, bus. Exterior, Chicago streets, night. Monte, thick and tough at 13, and his dad, late 30s, blue collar, cranky, and carrying cleaning supplies, ride the bus. Exterior, Chicago streets, later that night. Monte and his dad walk past an old age home. Monte slows to look inside. Old people mill in the lobby, smiling at their grandkids. Flashback. An old lady coos down at baby Monte.
What the hell is the matter with you? Hurry up!
Exterior, Chicago streets, back to scene. Monte hurries after his dad. Exterior, old age home, the next day. Old people are still milling about inside. Monte peers in from the large front window. He notices a little kid, 8, staring at him.
What are you looking at?
Monte fakes like he's going to hit the kid. The kid bolts. Monte looks back to the old age home. He walks away. Interior, old age home, lobby, moments later. Monte walks in, nervous but determined. He strides up to the front desk where a perfectly pert old receptionist sits.
I want to adopt a grandparent.
Lovely dear, male or female?
Oh, male. Like, I want a World War II guy, you know? Someone tough, guy from the war, maybe.
She nods. This is apparently on the menu. Interior, old age home, room, moments later. Carl, thin and frail, early 80s, lays in bed. The receptionist leads Monte in. He stands awkwardly in the doorway.
How are you doing today?
Monte relaxes a bit, steps inside.
Good. Thanks for letting me come talk to you.
Carl nods.
You're thin. Yeah, but I don't mind. I had a cousin, Tricky, when I was a kid, and he was real thin, and he was so cool, so fucking A.
He sits down beside Carl in a chair.
You don't have grandparents?
Yeah, they died when I was little. But I think people should have a grandparent, you know? My buddy Huey, he's my best friend. I mean, the guy let me fart in his face once. We're tight. He's a grandpa, and they call him Judge, which is Polish, I think, for grandpa. And he drives Huey around and asks us about our days, and I think everyone should have that, you know?
I hate my kids. They don't visit me.
A non sequitur. Monte wonders if Carl heard anything he said.
So, nobody comes to see you?
Well, my nieces and nephews visit me. I hate them too. They remind me of my kids.
Monte's eyes go wide. Interior Monte's house later that night. Monte eats cereal for dinner in front of the TV. An excessive amount of magazines are stacked around him. His mom, late 30s, blue collar, weary, is on the couch behind him asleep. His dad walks by, smacks him on the back of his head.
Let's go.
Interior old age home, room days later. Monte looks over Carl's collection of war medals, photos.
I was stationed in India.
You ever killed anybody?
You?
Carl smiles at him, shakes his head, no.
I was a mechanic. I fixed planes in the war. That was the first time I ever saw a palm tree.
Monte's sort of listening.
Do you think all parents hate their kids?
Hmm?
You said you hate your kids?
You think your parents hate you?
Monte shrugs.
Hey, don't worry about your dad. I mean, I know that it sucks, you know, that your dad hits you and whatnot, but you have to understand some guys, they don't know how to show their affection, their love. And they show it through violence.
Monte just nods.
Doesn't mean you have to be like that. At some point, you get to decide what kind of man you're going to be. You get to decide that you're going to be a good man.
Monte seems far away, then finally,
Yeah. Thanks, Carl.
Carl notices the medal he's looking at.
Got that one for saving a village of 1,000 people from the Nazis.
Seriously?
No.
Carl laughs, Monte laughs, Carl starts coughing, doubles over. Monte packs his back. Interior Monte's kitchen, later still. Monte sits by himself at the dinner table, which is crowded with mail, etc., never used. His mom, laden with magazines, comes in, dumps them on the table.
Do your dishes.
Hey, how's your day, Monty? Mine? Oh, it was grand. Thanks for asking.
Sorry, honey.
She's amused, kisses his forehead, goes for the fridge.
Hey, you think you could bring me some magazines on guns and ammo?
What for?
Monte considers his answer.
For a friend.
Interior old age home lobby. The receptionist is on a call. Monte walks in all excitement, his arms full of magazines.
I got a surprise for Carl. He's gonna love it.
Her face falls as Monte heads down the hall.
Oh, son, wait.
Interior old age home room, continuous. Monte walks in to see Carl's bed stripped. He takes it in. The receptionist crowds the doorway behind him.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry, young man.
What?
Carl passed. It's a hospice. Things like that happen here.
Monte drops the comics on the stripped bed.
I'm so sorry.
I shouldn't have done this. So stupid.
He rushes past her. Exterior old age home, Chicago Street, continuous. Monte races back out in the street, confused, sad, angry. He clenches and unclenches his fists as he walks up to the bus stop. The little boy from the first scene is waiting for the bus. Monte walks up to him, looking foreboding. The kid shrinks. Monte's gearing up to tell him off, to punch him, to do something, and then he stalls. He just sits there for a minute, steadying his breath. He looks at the kid and says,
Hey, how was your day?
the boy looks confused.
Good?
Monte nods.
Like comic books?
The boy nods. Off the two of them, talking. We fade out.
Monty's grandpa. God, it was so touching. Sometimes I forget that I can feel